foremost, what I want you to see is that there are quite a few different types of policies in health insurance. However, I chose to take all the common information out of all those health ones, so I don't have to repeat it over and over and over again. And I put all the common information up top. And the first thing you care about, guys and gals, is that there are what we call uniform policy provisions. What does that mean to you? That means, my friends, that in Florida, there are what we're gonna say are 12 required of the provisions, which means rules, and there are 10 optional. As I look at this, I'm gonna tell you, every company has to have these 12 in their policy. Obviously, 10 optional, do the math, that's 22. But out of all the rules in the policy, guys, there is one area that your state exam likes, and that's coverage continuation. Coverage continuation means if the insured and or insurance company wants to keep the coverage or terminate it, when is the company's right to get off of the risk? If I'm looking at the insurance company's right, if they have any of these paragraphs in your policy, you will only have one of them in any one policy. But it sure makes a lot of difference as to which one of the 5 you have, as to whether the company can say see ya, or they have to stay on the risk. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you that every one of these 5 are in circulation, and I'm also here to tell you it's a matching game. That's all it is. On one question, they'll give you the title and give you 4 definitions, match the title to the definition. Or they'll give you a definition with 4 titles. It's a matching game. But let me be very clear to let you know, if I'm talking cancellation, yes, the company can get off in Florida, but by Florida law, how many days notice do they have to give? Put a star by that, that's a Florida law question right there, baby doll. You gotta know that 20 days, and that's why it shows up, because it's Florida specific. They have to give a 20-day notice to say, see and be out of here. Optionally renewable, a little bit more restrictive to the insurance company, which basically says they cannot cancel during the policy term, but at the end of the policy term, they can say, see ya and be out of here. There's our opportunity. Conditionally renewable, this one says they can only terminate you based on certain rules. So if we rate your policy based on occupation, and you're a nurse, I cannot get rid of you unless I get rid of all nurses. That's the only way we can do that. And of course, guaranteed renewable says that now, under this category, the insurance company has to stay on the risk. They must offer you a renewal all the way till age 65. They can still raise your premium though, and if you can't afford it, it's not our fault. Pretty scary. In addition to that, please look down, put 9,000 stars by non-cancelable. No, put 9,000 stars by non-can. Yes, non-cancelable is the true title, but they're not gonna say non-cancelable on your state exam, because we in the world of insurance will abbreviate anything we can possibly abbreviate. And therefore, they're asking about our abbreviation, non-can. What does that mean to you guys? That means the company cannot cancel the policy and they can't even raise the premium. Whoa! Would you like to have one of these? I'd like to have one of those, and they can't raise my premium. Don't get excited. Yes, they're still out there, but here's what they do. It's a heart attack and stroke policy where they happen to have, oh yes, guys and gals, it's a lifetime benefit of $5,000.
Oh wow.
Isn't that funny? It's the worth the paper you wrote it on. That's what I'm telling you there. This is also applicable in disability, but you don't care. Make sure you know. You don't care where it's at, just make sure you know the definition. Also, we have something called free look, guys and gals. What does that mean to you? Florida law, do you see Florida law? Florida law says that in the event that you ever have a policy in health or life insurance, you have the right, after receiving the policy, to look it over and see, well, whether you bought or got what you thought you bought. For your testing pleasure, although there are different time frames, your testing pleasure wants to know 30-day notice, or 30-day period of time to look it over. That's more for seniors, but it doesn't matter. That's all they're asking on the state exam. Come back, take my absolutely phenomenal 60-hour course on this topic matter, and I will tell you the truth. So, in property casualty, you don't need to know the truth. But free look is a period of time to look it over. If you don't think it's what you got, return it. Get a full refund in 30 days. Also looking on down to exclusions. Yes, my friends, these are common exclusions across the board. If I'm looking at the common exclusions, please look and notice the first one says, we're not covering occupation incurred injuries because you already know they go to workers' comp. However, put a star by treatment in a VA hospital. If you're being treated by Veterans Administration, you're not being charged. You're not being charged, we can't, when you don't get a bill, if you don't get a bill, you can't file a claim. Can't file a claim, we're not paying you. Intentionally self-inflicted injuries, unfortunately, guys, please, I don't mean to be crude. Unfortunately, I'm gonna tell you, and it's terrible, but I'm gonna be nasty here right now. Not my intent, but I'm gonna be nasty. Unfortunately, there's people out there this season, the season that most people try to commit suicide is Christmas. That's pretty scary. But here's the bad news, and I'm gonna be honest with you. In life insurance, if they're successful, we pay the death benefit after 2 years. But in health, if they're not successful, we're not paying a dime. Is that pretty scary, guys? That is tough to say it that way, but it's pretty scary because the family is the one holding the responsibility after the fact, which is tough. Please notice the next one says dental expenses are not covered. Well, unless it's an accident. Yeah, guys, because if we would have done surgery under your regular policy, we're gonna do surgery here and we can do it and get it paid just the same for cosmetic. Yeah, cosmetic surgery, we're not gonna give you a little bit of a tuck here and a nip here. No, but if it is an accident, we can take care of that. State exam question, as we see it, here's how it goes. All of the following are considered exclusions under health insurance except, and I will say, treatment in a VA hospital, self-inflicted injuries. It will also say workers, occupation incurred injuries under workers' comp, and D will say all dental expenses. All of those are exclusion except the word all made dental wrong because all dental are not excluded. Most dental are excluded, but not all dental are excluded, so that's important. Next state exam question is gonna come back. She loves me, I can tell. All right, my evaluate's gonna be phenomenal, I can say. Yes, indeed, there it is. All right, why do you care, guys? The next question said, a woman got caught in a fire, her face needs to be reconstructed, does she have coverage? And the answer is yes, because it's surely accidental. Moving on further down, guys, there is another category, and that category is other rules of the policy, put some stars by grace period. There are 3 questions in circulation on grace period, my friends, and to my shock and surprise, the first one was not even in your textbook. Yes, guys, because now, never in the past, but they're asking it now, what is a grace period? Please write the definition fast and furious for me, please, if you will. If you wanna know, it's a period of time after the premiums are due. The insurance company must accept them and provide coverage. There we go. That's what we just said. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no grace period under property and casualty. You only have grace periods under health insurance and life insurance. Those are the only grace periods. But if in fact you have a period of time after the premiums are due, it makes a lot of difference on how frequently that you actually pay your premium. Yes, guys and gals, if you would highlight with me that if I'm sitting back looking at weekly premium paying, weekly is 7. If you pay your premiums monthly, that's 10, and all others is 31, is how we're gonna do that. Crazy, crazy. Couple of state exam questions. One is the definition. One's gonna say which of the following best describes the grace periods. And A is gonna say 7, 10, and 31. B is gonna say 7, 30, and 60. Next one is gonna say 30, 60, and 90. And D is my favorite, 1 year, 5 years, and unlimited.
Nice.
That's my favorite. Not right answer, but that's my favorite. Next one is gonna come along and say, our insured pays their premiums on a quarterly basis. How long's the grace period for? 31 days, good. Now you forgot to pay your premium, they terminated your coverage, and you go back to the company and say, can I please have my policy back? And your answer is gonna be, no, kind of maybe yes, okay, once in a while. Okay, if the company says yes, please notice that Florida law, did you hear that again? Florida law dictates out how long or how soon does the company have to start providing coverage. If the company wants you back and it's an accident, they gotta start covering you immediately because we believe that you're not waiting to get insurance so that you can go out and deliberately have an accident, which I believe that. However, we do know that people know their body very, very well. And if they know their body so well, we know that we need to have a waiting period before that medical condition is gonna be covered, because we don't want them to wait until they need it, keep their mouth shut, and then go buy it, and then ask for coverage. So 10-day wait is Florida law. Make sure you know Florida law right down there, pretty important. Now, another thing that's kind of interesting is something called limitation on insurance offenses. What that means is, when does a company not have to pay a claim? Notice the word incontestable. What that means to you guys and gals, there's a period of time, 2 years, that we, the insurance company, still have the right to investigate. And if we find out something we never knew, we can say, see you and be out of here. Well, up to 2 years. Except the only time we can terminate you after 2 years is for fraudulent statements only. Guys, your policy is going to be able to be canceled or terminated anytime in the future for fraudulent statements on your application. You've had your policy enforced for 12 years and we find out you lied on your app. See ya, we're out of here, we're not paying the claim. Pretty crazy. However, please go on down, and now what I want you to do is put some stars by Florida law again. How many of you see the pre-existing conditions? Guys and gals, pre-existing conditions is also a 2-year window by Florida law. They have no choice but to start covering your pre-existing conditions within 2 years after you bought your policy. That's pretty interesting, guys and gals. Pretty cool. Don't worry about double indemnity, not important there. Use the titles of the policy to tell you what they do. As we look further down the left-hand column, the titles will tell you what we're doing. If I'm looking at dread disease policy, guys and gals, a dread disease policy is what we're gonna call a single illness policy. How many of you have ever seen the policies being sold that are out there that are cancer policies, or a separate policy for heart attack and stroke? Does everybody see that right there? Pretty cool, guys, you can see it. In the meantime, as I'm looking for all of this, I also want you to see the words incurable. The one question wants to know what's a single illness policy, dread disease. The next one wants to know what best describes a dread disease. And you will see it says incurable. Let them match those to the title, that's it. The next one is so easy because it says hospitalization expense. Well, if it's only gonna cover hospital bills, then you can see, guys and gals, we can take care of room and board, lab, and the operating room. We are not, listen carefully, we are not covering doctors here. Hospitalization is the hospital only. I'm so excited to learn, however, that they've decided that we're not gonna pay for maternity until after you've had the policy in force for how many years? How many months, 9 months, guess why? How funny is that? In the meantime, I want you to put a lot of stars by hospital indemnity. They like that one a lot because this one does not pay the hospital bills. This only is designed to pay a flat amount per day for every day you're in the hospital. That's it. I don't care what your bills are. State exam question says, are insured as a hospital indemnity policy with a benefit of $100. Are hospitalized for 7 days. They got a hospital bill for $10,000 and a doctor bill for $5,000. How much is payable from the policy? $700, my friend. 7 days, $100, done, $700. Oh, hold on, if I say accident, guess what it's covered?
Accidents.
Good answer. Accidents, exactly right. Pretty cool. But the really cool part is I can not only cover your medical, I can give you a little bit of coverage here for loss of income. Not a lot, but we can do that there. Surgical, guess what that one covers? Surgery. Look how smart you guys are. That's pretty good, okay. But this one says, if the doctor cuts, we pay the doctor's bill. Unfortunately, we found out that was not a good thing, because back in the 80s, yes guys, we had doctors telling us that they're going in for exploratory surgery. What's this explore stuff? What do you need, a Porsche payment? I mean, really, seriously, what are you gonna do? If you're going in this body, you better know what you're going in for, that's what I'm telling you. Okay, guys, but yes, that was unfortunate because we didn't want that to happen anymore, so we created an alternative. Because the doctors never got paid under surgical unless they operated. We didn't want them to operate, so we created something called physicians. Physicians coverage is only if they do not operate. Yeah, guys, if you go see them in the doctor's office, you go see them, maybe they come to you, seeing you in a hospital. More importantly, guys, oh yes, now what happens is that they also may come to your house. Chuckle, chuckle, chuckle. I've heard some doctors are doing that, which is pretty cool. In the meantime, as I'm looking for all of this, what I really don't care, guys, I mean, the titles tell you what we're doing, but here's the problem. In the past, if I was gonna do a good job for you, I'd have to sell you all 6 of those policies to do a good job. Consumers came along and went, why are you selling me 6 policies? Well, they all do different things. Well, then super glue them together and give me one. That's when we came out, and you're gonna highlight with me, yes, major medical. Go ahead and highlight major medical, guys, because that's your state exam question right there. They're gonna give you the definition of major medical, and you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna match the title to that of the definition. You can see that catastrophic losses characterized by a deductible, high maximum policy limit, and co-insurance. Whoa. I could not finish without talking about co-insurance just one more time. However, guys and gals, the co-insurance that we learned under property is not the same as health. Under health insurance, if I look at co-insurance, it's usually divided by 2 separate numbers. They're always represented by 2 separate numbers, and as I look at those, you will see here, my friends, that the first number is that part of the loss that the insurance company is going to be responsible for. The second part of the number is the amount the insured is going to pay of that medical bill. Now, I said 80-20 because that's been the most popular, but I could actually do 90-10, I could do 80-20, I could do 75-25, I could do 70-30, I could do 60-40. Today we're even offering 50-50. Yay, how cool is that? But while I care, guys and gals, co-insurance basically says we're sharing the cost of the medical. That's what it's doing. Match the definition to the title, but someone came back and said, Diana, I got a question about co-insurance and health insurance, but they never said 80-20 or 90-10 or any of that. Diana, what they came back and said is 10, but they gave me the options of 10-20, they gave me the options of 20-25, they gave me the options of 25-35, and they gave me the options of 50-50. That's weird. Why do I care? Because, guys, I said to that person, I said, did they ask you what was the insured, what's the most common insured percentage under health insurance? And they said something about the insured, but I don't remember what they said, Diana. So I'm gonna believe that they're probably not really looking for what's the insurance company share of it. They probably asked what's the most popular that the insured is going to pay in conjunction with the insurance company's part of the bill. Guys, 2025 was the number that I heard was the number of choice. So go read the question, come back, tell me what it is, and I'll tell you if you got it right or wrong, okay? I'm guessing. Pardon me?
How does people remember these questions when they come back to you, like, oh, I got a question that said,
Can I tell you, I had a guy that come back and he gave me 62 of the memory of them.
No.
Is that amazing?
Wow.
Okay, I'm only asking you for 5. I mean, that's all I'm asking you for.
Nice.
I sat out in the kitchen with him and I went, okay, talk. And I just wrote shorthand. I went, okay, I got it. Is that pretty cool? You want to hug him because he's helping you to know all this stuff. All right, look on down, put 9,000 stars by disability, guys, because there's several questions in circulation on disability and they're going to beat you up on it. Quite obviously, it's the largest category, so we want to make sure you're fine. First question wants to know, what is disability income? Oh, good. I wish you got 94 more of those questions. Because disability income is loss of income. Done. Yes, that's all it is. Loss of income. That means if you're unable to work, we're going to help compensate you for your loss of income. You will see that many of the policies restrict how much you can get, and most of them will only go up to 60%. We don't want to give you 100% because you'll stand on much MacGyver, and that would get me pretty upset. Not so good. Why do I care, guys? Because now, in addition to this, what we're going to do here is we're going to take an opportunity and tell you that if you ever have disability, we've got to check out first and foremost, are you really disabled to the degree you can't go to work? Put a star by a waiting period, my friends, And the reason the waiting period's important is because we're gonna have to have time to check you out. You don't care about the number for waiting period, all you care about is what's the purpose of the waiting period. Highlight the parentheses for me, please, if you will. And in the parentheses, you will see right here, it does say it's gonna help hold down premium costs. That's what it's gonna do for you. Pretty cool, guys. As I look at that, I don't care about the numbers, but what I am gonna tell you is there is an opportunity to look at the information right above that. Do you see the italicized information right there? You'd even see it says Florida statute right there. Do y'all see that? Guys, I'm not sure if it's on your state exam, but because I know there's so many Florida statutes, sit back, watch the show so I can show you what they're talking about. There are some disability policies out there that is considered a flat benefit, and there's some policies out there that are considered a percentage benefit under the policies. If you happen to have a flat benefit, usually it dictates out how much you're gonna get on a monthly basis, and that flat benefit never changes from the time you buy the policy to the time you cancel the policy. Yes guys, many years ago, I bought a disability income policy, and my benefit on a monthly basis was $800. Even if my salary went up, the benefit still stayed $800. I knew that wasn't going to be what I need, so I started looking into the second option, which is a percentage benefit. Most of the percentage benefits out there tell you the insurance company is willing to pay up to 60% of your income. Well, here's what I did, guys, before I knew insurance. I originally bought the $800 a monthly benefit, then I knew that wasn't gonna be enough, so I went out and bought a separate policy with a percentage benefit and never canceled the flat benefit. Because I thought 40% difference, I mean, I'm living paycheck to paycheck. Who's gonna pay more than 40%? I thought, well, you know, the 800, the 60%, I'm pretty good. Then I found out about Florida law, and they said, nice try. That's not gonna happen. Here's what Florida law said. Whatever your monthly income is, you will want to know that the percentage says we're only gonna pay a total of 60% of your monthly income. Reason for that, guys, is because if you're paying the premium, you don't have to pay taxes on that monthly benefit. So in this particular case, 60% of the 2,000 tells me that you should only be able to recoup $1,200. But now what the law says is, before that percentage is gonna pay you, what you have to do is to understand, we are gonna subtract away from that $1,200 the flat benefit coming from the flat policy, and only the balance of what's left is going to actually go to the percentage category right there. So what's left there is $400. We'll go under that policy and collect the balance that's left. No double dipping. How we doing? Okay, guys, I know that people have come back and said Florida law questions are there, and I know this is a Florida law event. I'm not sure it's really there, but I would be remiss if I didn't tell you, because then you'll beat me up and go, you didn't tell me about that one. And that's the reason why. Don't worry about non-prorating, I don't care about that. Put some stars, oops, that's too dark, it was a joke. Okay, so put some stars by the partial disability. They will have a state exam question. Partial disability means that you're hurt, you are still working, you're not making all your paycheck. Therefore, we're only gonna reimburse you up to 50% of what your total disability benefit will be. Guys, 50% your magic number. However, go down and find something called the elective indemnity benefit. Also, they like that one as well. Reason that's important is because under elective indemnity benefit, it does say to you that if you are disabled, we know the company's gonna pay you a monthly amount. But some insureds know they're never going back to work. So they could go to their company and ask, rather than getting a monthly paycheck, why would the company not just put all of it together, one lump sum, send it to the insured and let them handle it, and the insurance company's off the hook? Well, some companies will be willing to do that because the company agrees you'll never get any better than what you are today. Then they'll do what we call elective indemnity benefit. Your state exam question says, if the insurance company wishes to give a lump sum benefit in lieu of a weekly or monthly benefit, what is that called? Match the title, that's what you're doing. Another one that is always guarantee you a paycheck, always there, is waiver of premium. Put some stars by waiver of premium, it is huge. And while you're looking at waiver of premium, keep highlighting the words total disability, because it only comes into play if you are totally disabled. That's the only way we're gonna do it. Guys, what this is telling you is, if you're totally disabled, you're not making any income, we, the insurance company, will waive the requirement for you to pay the premium, yet still give you coverage. Because you're only getting 60% of your income, we'll go ahead and absorb the premium payments, keeping you insured. That's a pretty good deal right there. The next one down, yes guys, major medical. It was important, but more important than that is Medicare supplements. The reason this is important, guys, is because sometimes they'll call it Medicare supplement, sometimes they'll call it Medigap coverage. Why? Because they're asking you what is covered under the Medicare program. Please notice the first line says it's gonna cover the medical cost not covered under the federal Medicare program. Medicare is for the retirees, my friends, that's what it's all about. And even when I look at it, I shared with you before that the retiree gets a free look period of time to look it over and get a full refund. What was the period of time, guys? There it is for you. Do I care about anything else other than number 5? I don't care about anything else. And number 5, for retirees, the pre-existing condition has changed. We told you that every policy has a 2-year pre-existing condition, but I waited till now to tell you I was joking for retirees. Retirees only have a 6-month waiting period before benefits are payable, which is pretty good. Please do not worry about out-of-network reimbursement, all that stuff. Maybe on that page or the next one, I don't really care about it. But go down and find HMO. Guys, under HMO, it says that this is an alternative program for preventative medicine and early treatment. The federal government has always wanted to get their hands into regulating health insurance ever since 1973, guys. This is a program that the federal government instituted, saying anybody who wants to manage a HMO, health maintenance organization, we, the federal government, will add tax dollars to your program to encourage people to become members of an HMO. What that means is that you're gonna go see a doctor under our program, and if you do, then we will only make you pay $5, $10, $35 to go see the doctor. And at that particular point, you don't have to do anything else. You pay the fixed fee, and after that, we, the insurance company, know that the doctor is gonna send us a list of all the patients they saw, and then the insurance company's gonna reimburse them. But we hope you're gonna go get medicine and early treatment, so you don't end up in the hospital. Hospitals cost so much money, so we want you, obviously, to try to get medical care before you have to go there. When you get to the state test, all they care about, number 1, preventative medicine and early treatment, and the consumer's paying a fixed fee, that's it. The other one is PPO, and PPO was an alternative, because my father's generation did not jump on the bandwagon of HMOs, because my father's generation said, I've been going to Dr. Dawson ever since he was 5 years of age, that Dr. Dawson, and I'm not changing my doctor to pick up a doctor you want me to pick up. I and my age group came back and said, you know what, we don't have no loyalties yet, so we'll go ahead and pick a doctor off the list for everything except catastrophic events. I have no problem if I pick a doctor off the list to take care of my broken leg. I have no problem if they want to give me some medicine for the flu. I'm not picking a doctor off the list for open heart surgery. That's not going to happen. So therefore, they created a hybrid called Preferred Provider Organization. Preferred Provider Organization said, yes, there's a group of hospitals and doctors that work together. And yes, in this particular case, you can go to them, or you do not have to go to a provider. If you go to them, we'll treat you like HMO, $5, $10, $15 to go to the doctor. However, if you go off network, then we're gonna treat you like a major medical policy. You know that you pay 30%, we pay 70%, that's kinda how they'll do it. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, whether I'm talking HMOs or PPOs, both of them are called managed healthcare systems, because the insurance company and the doctor plan pre-agrees as to what's gonna be paid for services rendered. And the last thing for today is long-term care. Long-term care is usually considered assisted living or nursing care, is what that is. As I look at nursing care, what I'm suggesting to you, skilled, intermediate, or custodial, is the plan of action. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't care what they are. You just care there are 3 different options. but just for comfort, you need to know skill, just for fun. Skilled care means 24-hour licensed medical care. That means a doctor or a nurse or somebody of licensed status is taking care of you and accessible 24 hours a day. Intermediate care says you're still getting care by someone who's not licensed, but the doctor and the nurse comes and sees you daily, not necessarily 24 hours. Custodial means they're just keeping you for daily living practices. You know, bathing, cooking, and all of the feeding, etc. That's custodial. But the one thing you care about, put some stars by elimination period, guys and gals. They love an elimination period, and for your testing pleasure, when they ask you what is elimination period, they don't care about the time. They want you to know it's a waiting period before benefits are payable to you. That's it. And the last thing is most of these policies are for retirees. If they are in a assisted living or a nursing home, we don't want their policy to lapse. So Florida law says that their notice for premium is not only gonna be sent to them, it has to be sent to a secondary addressee also, so someone else can find and understand what their premium is for. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now an expert for the last time. Yay! And you never thought we'd get here. Isn't that wonderful?
Wow.
Yay! Look, my friends on the web are celebrating too. Okay. All right, guys and gals, his comment and Jason's comment, do you have a recommendation on how to efficiently approach studying, memorizing, and understanding how, what do you mean, say, eating it like an elephant? What is that? Okay, I love, Jason, everybody loves you here as well. All right, in this particular case, here's what I want you to know, guys, and let me just say this real quick. What I want you to know is this is quite a lot. You can see in 4 days, I have not taken a breath. Have you all seen that?
Yeah.
I haven't even told that many stories because there's so much. This is why we can't have as much fun, because there's just too much material. I'm a lot more fun. Please go back to another class. I can really have a lot more fun. However, why do you care? Here's your answer, Mr. Jason, that everybody else wants to know that too. My answer